Our daily bread is a daily window through which we contemplate the nourishment of the soul and spirituality. Just as we need bread to nourish our bodies, our souls also need sustenance to grant them strength and faith. Through this program, we will delve into the deep meanings of life, reflect on sacred words, and learn how these words can be the bread that nourishes our souls and grants us peace in facing the challenges of daily life. Let us partake together in this spiritual nourishment that refreshes hearts and strengthens faith. Our reflection for today is on verse 2 of chapter 7 from the book of Sirach, which speaks about the path of wisdom being the avoidance of evil, where it says, "Avoid sin and it will turn away from you."
A new story I will share with you, dear ones, and a new lesson from life's experiences we will learn from it. Today's story is titled Avoiding Evil. The story tells us that in one of the ancient villages, there lived a wise man named Simeon. Simeon was known for his wisdom and his ability to solve the problems that the villagers faced. People would come to him seeking advice and guidance, and he always reminded them to hold on to good values and morals. One day, a young man named Joseph came to Simeon, feeling lost and anxious. Joseph said to Simeon, "O wise one, I feel drawn to wrong paths, and I fear that I will fall into sin. I feel that there are forces pulling me towards evil, and I find myself close to falling into wrongdoing. How can I avoid these dangers?" Simeon smiled and said, "Joseph, always remember what the wise have said. Avoid sin and it will turn away from you. Sin is like fire. If you come close to it, you will burn. But if you stay away from it, you will remain safe." He added, "Imagine you are walking on a narrow path between two fields. One field is filled with beautiful flowers, and the other is filled with thorns and poisonous plants. If you choose to walk near the poisonous field, you expose yourself to danger, and you might stumble and fall into it. But if you choose to walk near the beautiful field, you will be safe from harm and will enjoy the beautiful sights." Joseph began to understand the wisdom in Simeon's words and said, "So, I must be careful in my choices and stay away from places that can lead me to sin." Simeon nodded and said, "Exactly, Joseph. If you stay away from sin, you will find that sin will stay away from you. You will find yourself surrounded by peace and tranquility, and evil will have no control over you." Joseph left Simeon's house with a renewed spirit, determined to avoid anything that could lead him to sin. Indeed, over time, he felt that his life became happier and more stable, and he no longer felt the anxiety that once haunted him. The moral of this story is that avoiding sin not only protects you from making mistakes but also brings inner peace and drives away anxiety. Your choice of places and environments in which you live greatly affects your life. Be careful in your choices and stay away from anything that could lead you to evil, and you will find that life will become brighter and more peaceful.
As we conclude today's episode of Our Daily Bread program, which is prepared and directed by Father Nur Al-Kasmosa, I thank you for joining us on this spiritual journey where we contemplate nourishment for our souls and hearts. I invite you to continue partaking in this spiritual bread day by day and to make reflecting on its meanings a part of your life. I remind you to follow us on social media to stay continuously connected and benefit from more reflections, stories, and spiritual materials. I leave you in God's safety and protection, and to God be the glory always. Amen.